What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for yet another Tottenham update. We're going to go into the last, we've got some prior to the last 24 hours of Tottenham news, but we've got some transfer tidbits to get into. But the first thing that we're going to talk about today is that an email was circulated to the Premier League broadcasters on February the 10th that was titled Tottenham Hotspur Naming Update. The email makes clear how the club wants to be referenced. Tottenham Hotspur have provided clarification regarding the club's name. They have requested that the club are primarily known as Tottenham Hotspur, with Spurs being the preferred short version. The club have requested that they are not referred to as Tottenham anymore. This guidance has gone out to the Premier League broadcasters all around the world. The changes that Sky Sports made to their graphics have also been made by other networks that show Tottenham matches. The Premier League website is in line too. It is always Tottenham Hotspur or Spurs. There should never be Tottenham, which is a really peculiar situation that's going on. I know apparently Ange Postecoglou has been in line with it as well. If you were listening to his post-match press conference and the pre-match press conference, he actually called the club Tottenham Hotspur instead of all season he's been calling them Tottenham. So, I mean, it's been a concerted effort that Tottenham don't want to be called Tottenham anymore, which is very weird.
We might have to change our name. I think maybe we're going to get a cease and desist. We are Tottenham Hotspur TV. I think that's what we're going to have to. Actually, maybe we're safe now. We're safe because we're not Tottenham Hotspur.
Exactly. Luckily, we're not on the payroll of the club, because if we were on the payroll of the club, we would have to change our name.
Yeah. Look, it's a. I don't know what to say about them wanting that. I kind of understand it, but like they're okay with other thing Tottenham being associated with all these other things, but when it comes to people calling the club Tottenham, which so many fans have referred to the club as Tottenham throughout the years, it's a bit ridiculous quirk. I mean, no one really differentiates between Tottenham and Tottenham Hotspur. Why can't it's such a mouthful saying Tottenham Hotspur? Why can't you just say Tottenham? And I know some people call them Spurs. So Spurs is a nickname, so some people want to call it the proper name and they say Tottenham, but then you're forcing people to say Tottenham Hotspur. I think it's just a bit of a nonsense. I don't know why they've kind of had to email gone the extra length of emailing broadcast. Is it really like that much of like a problem that all the broadcasters are only referring to Tottenham as Tottenham instead of Tottenham Hotspur or Spurs? Is it that much of a problem you have to actually point out? It seems extremely pedantic. And what are they going to do if someone just keeps referring to Tottenham as Tottenham? Like, are they going to sue them? Like
maybe because they know the slip ups are going to come, so it's a way of them earning extra money of getting to sue them.
I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Levy is always looking for an extra avenue to earn revenue, but it just seems very bit silly and pedantic. But that's doesn't surprise me with this football club. They're always in it with the particulars. I think people have referred to this club as Tottenham throughout the years, and I don't think it's a big deal, but apparently they see it as they're not really referring to the club, they're referring to the area. And are they not proud of the area that they represent? Like, come on. They just
tried to stop us, and look what it did. The thing I love most is calling my club Tottenham. You know what I mean?
It's not Tottenham anymore.
We're Tottenham.
It's not Tottenham anymore.
Whether they like it or not, we're Tottenham. We're from Tottenham, and we're always going to be Tottenham.
Yeah, it's just Tottenham Hotspurs or Spurs. That's it.
It's just such a bunch of nonsense, isn't it?
It is
nonsense. But anyway, let us know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. A couple of transfer rumours. Estadio Deportivo claim that Girona have no plans to trigger Bryan Gil's €15 million purchase clause, and instead do want to negotiate a lower fee with Tottenham Hotspur. I believe that he's done fairly well there in terms of his numbers. 23 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. He's kind of a regular, he's regularly on the pitch for them. And yeah, I think he's done all right there.
But you're saying they don't want to?
They don't want to take up the purchase option, but they want to negotiate a lower fee.
Okay, that's fine. I think Tottenham will be willing to negotiate, to be honest. Albeit, wasn't the purchase option like really low, like 6 million or something? So I don't know how much low. Oh, is it 15?
Yeah.
I thought I heard it was 6. Who's reporting that?
Estadio Deportivo.
Maybe so. We'll have to wait and see how true that is. But I know he started the season really well, but I think has he gone off the boil recently, or is he still? Because I remember he was going through a period. It was looking like he's really acclimatizing well back in Spain. But I think the last few games, he apparently hasn't really done so well.
Yeah, I mean, the last game against Real Madrid, he came off the bench, but I mean, more or less every other game he's been starting. Scored a couple of weeks ago at the back end of January against Rayo Vallecano. I mean, I can't claim to watch their games on a regularity or even one game this season, but I have seen certain clips surrounding Brian Hill this season. He seems to be doing well. It was a shame, though, because Girona played Arsenal at the back end of January and he was suspended for that game, but you knew he would have scored.
Yeah, probably. I can see he's got 1 goal in his last 10, which isn't great. But I think overall, from what I was hearing before, they seemed happy with him over there, and he seemed to be doing really well. But I think from Tottenham's point of view, we obviously want to sell. We're not keeping him around. We're looking like we're going to have a lot of options hopefully next season out wide, especially if we add one or two. So I think there's not going to be any space for Hill, even if he does really well between now and the end of the season. I'm sure they'll come to an agreement. I'm sure they'll end up selling him. But to be fair, we've had a few loan players who've been struggling to shift in previous seasons, so you can't take anything for granted. But I'm sure Brian Hill, he'll be out the door in the summer.
Yeah, I just feel like the differences between those previous loan players and maybe what a Brian Hill is, I think that, in the past we've not been willing to maybe go further down than what our valuation is of the player and maybe what the purchase option is. But I think things have changed over the last year or two in terms of that aspect. So I think we will end up getting a deal done, just it won't be for what the purchase clause is. Next up, Give Me Sport claim that Tottenham are willing to sell Manor Solomon this summer, with Leeds and Everton now interested in a permanent deal. And it was interesting, actually, because I saw a report from Paul Robinson. Spurs and Leeds are ex-goalkeeper Paul Robinson. And he claimed
England's number one.
England's number one, exactly. And he claimed as well that that Leeds need to go up to get him in. But he also claimed that Everton are interested bringing in Manor Solomon next season. So could be a bit of a bidding war.
Oh, is he a bit of an ITK now? Is he, Paul Robinson?
That's what he said.
He's in the know. He's in the know. I think I can see Solomon probably staying at Leeds just because I think Farke is quite an attacking manager, and I think he would probably want to keep playing under him if they get promoted. But I also think if they don't get promoted, obviously he's going to be for a championship team anyway, the fee's going to be fairly decent. So I don't think they probably lay out that fee if they fail to get promoted. So I do. That does make sense to me. Obviously, he's killing it at the moment, and he's probably loving life at Leeds. He's reinvigorated. I think Everton is a weird one. Obviously, they got Ndai, who plays in that position, who's having a really great season. I think under Moyes, he could do quite well, though. I think he could work quite well under Moyes in terms of the way they play, because they're very direct. They could use his pace. But if I was him, I'd much rather play under a more offensive manager like Farke if I got the opportunity. So, as much as he's doing well as well, from Tottenham's point of view, I still think it unlikely that he stays here. I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I just think with Moore and Odegaard and Son at the moment at the club, I don't really see a real space for him. And I think especially the fact that we got him on a free as well, whatever we sell him for, that's pure profit that goes towards PSR. I think Tottenham would see it as an opportunity to get some money. I think that's how we will see it. But you never say never. Players have come back from worse positions, so I wouldn't completely rule out. I don't think it's like I think obviously we did sign him for a reason, mostly because I thought, in my opinion, because he's on a free. But I also think we did see potential there, and obviously he started his life at Tottenham decently. So. He has been reinvigorated. I think in a different situation, I think we would be looking to bring him back, to be honest. I just think it might be a case of right player, wrong time.
Maybe. I do like him. I like the attributes that he has. I like what he's shown in his limited amount of game time. Had a really good period of like a month for Fulham in last season as well. So I think he is a Premier League player. I don't think he should be staying in the Championship. I think he's got definitely the quality to play in the Premier League, whether that be for Spurs, Everton, or whoever, or Leeds when they come up, or maybe even someone else that puts their name in the ring. I do think he will be playing Premier League football next season, that's for sure. Last but not least, Court of Side say that Tottenham, Arsenal, and Chelsea are all considering triggering the £62 million release clause of Matheus Cunha at Wolves. You might say to me, what chance do we have against Arsenal and Chelsea going for Cunha? But all he needs is that one phone call from Ange. No, he's the best salesman in the world.
Exactly. The Ange pull is unmatched. Once Ange calls,
he'd still be at the club.
That's it. He's once Ange calls, that's it. It's over. You might as well sign the contract. I would love Cunha. I think. Look, if we can win, if we somehow win Europa League and win Champions League football and Chelsea aren't, I think we could definitely stake a claim to get him ahead of Chelsea potentially, albeit Chelsea offer big contracts and all these different things, and they always find ways to add extra incentives. So I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion, but I wouldn't say we have no chance. If Arsenal come in for him,
Neto, right? Pedro Neto went to Chelsea in the Conference League over Spurs in the Europa League.
Yeah, that's true as well. And obviously, if Arsenal call. I think, especially if they're going to miss out on the title this season, I think maybe he could see himself as a player who could push them over the line potentially, especially if he carries on in this vein of form. And Arsenal could do with that bit of X factor that he would bring. So I do think he would be a good fit for Arsenal. At this point, I would say could Tottenham offer more game time, but I don't even know if we can right now with Arsenal's worries, and he would probably immediately go in ahead of Martinelli and maybe even up front in a number 9. So I think he definitely starts for Arsenal as well. So it just depends how many people are after him. I'm not surprised Tottenham would be interested because he's been absolutely brilliant now for 18 months. He keeps literally being the main man for Wolves every week. Even when they're struggling, he just pulls things out of the bag. Even against good teams, look at the goal he scored at Anfield last week. Out of nothing, he can just pull magic out rabbit out of the hat. He's a special player, and he's always had that potential to take his game up a notch, and he's always had very good qualities without really having that ability in the final third to get regular goal contributions, but he's really added that, and since he's done that, he's really exploded. I think he's one of the best players in the Premier League this season. I really believe that. He's such a good player, and I think he will be on the move. It's just about where.
Yeah, I mean, in certain games this season, in a lot of games this season, he's just been untouchable, isn't he? The way he can carry the ball, the way he can progress the ball up the pitch is brilliant. I'd love to see him through the club, through the doors of the club, and it's just a question of if this is basically beyond us now with the season that he's having at Wolves. I don't know, but if you give me the option to sign Matheus Cunha, I'd bite your hand off for it. I think he's such an unbelievable footballer.
Yeah, I find it hard to think without winning the Europa League that we have any chance.
Just need to get Ange on the phone before he gets sacked.
Exactly.
But anyway, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all those news stories we brought you today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.